Hi everybody, Jake here and welcome to the start of Season 2 of our Rebuilding Newcastle series. Season 1 was a smash in terms of how it went on YouTube, but also how it went in-game. In our first season here at Newcastle, yes, we spent plenty of money, but we managed to get Champions League football, finish third place I think it was, and now we've got to push on. We've got to potentially win the league this year and also give the Champions League a run, and you know what that means. We need to make a few transfers before the new season starts. Hello everybody, Jake here, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel if you're new. As mentioned, it's the start of Season 2 here with Newcastle, and we've got plenty to get into today. Not only the start of the Premier League season where we're playing West Ham, which is a fairly decent test in the Premier League, but also, of course, we've made plenty of transfers over the summer. We got Champions League football last year. This year, we want to potentially try and win the league and also compete in the Champions League, so we did have to make a fair few signings and a few harsh decisions as well in terms of letting players go to allow for these moves to happen. So yeah, we've got plenty to get into. I'll also show you the tactic that we're using, look around the club, all that stuff. But first of all, if you do enjoy this kind of content and you want to be a legend, then hit that like button. It helps me know that you enjoy it and also spreads it out to as many people as possible. So thank you for anyone who does that. Drop a comment down below what you think about my transfers, what you think about the match that we're going to play, or if you just want to be nice, let me know what you had for breakfast. It will help the YouTube algorithm. And finally, if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe to the channel as we go for 5,000 subscribers before Christmas, which actually looks like the way you guys are going, it could potentially be possible. Oh, and one more thing. If you want to join the Discord, you can find that link down below. It's just a group of Football Manager players, near enough 200 members now, discussing their saves, signings, tactics, that kind of thing. Just a nice community where you can ask questions or just show off what you've done in Football Manager. Plenty of guys have made friends over there recently, and it's really nice to see the way that that's developed. But here we go. Newcastle versus West Ham is of course on the cards today, but first of all, let's have a look at the signings that we made, but also the pre-season that we had. Now, I don't take too much interest in the pre-season matches. I let the assistant manager handle the friendlies, but it's been a pretty good one in terms of building up morale and building up dynamics, building up fitness too, of course. It's been a pretty solid start to the season, really. None of these games I'd actually expect to lose, but it's nice to see that we're just picking up wins here and there and slowly building up that momentum as we go straight into the Premier League season, where I would argue up until August we could make a heavy claim here between West Ham and Norwich as being title favourites, because we could arguably win every single one of these matches. Then it gets a bit harder around September, Chelsea and Man City back to back. If we can come out of that with results by the end of September, October time, we might be looking like, real challenges for the league, and I definitely think we can do it. We were so close last year, and I think we've improved the squad massively, so you're all here to see it. Let's get right into the transfers, and we'll start off with Bono Gittens. Okay, he's on the page. I spoke about him before in a previous video. He hasn't actually joined Newcastle yet, but we're waiting for him. Yeah, I can't really say too much more about him because we spoke about him last time. We signed him. We're waiting for him to join from Borussia Dortmund. 17-year-old Englishman with plenty of potential. Could be a very useful prospect for only, what was it, like £10 million? Yeah, £6 million rising to potentially 12. But of course, that's only the start of our transfer business, because then we went a bit wild in the transfer market. We'll start with what we did first. So I believe Clementine Tolisso. Yeah, here we go. First of all, Billy Gilmore, bought in from Chelsea, £15 million, valued at, I hadn't seen that yet, valued at 103. That's got to be wrong. If not, we've done absolutely fantastic in the market there. 5-year contract on the boy, 21-year-old Scottish international who can definitely go far. Looked really good at Chelsea. In real life, he's gone on loan to Norwich in real life, where he hasn't done too well. But in Football Manager, even though Norwich, I think they actually stayed up, didn't they? Yeah, Norwich did stay up. So he had a good season for him. 29 games, 7 goals, 5 assists. Wouldn't have assumed goal scoring would have been part of his game, but as a deep line playmaker, potentially behind the midfield, or maybe we'll use him in one of the midfield roles like Metsala. He's a really useful option, I think. And at 21 years old, why not? For the price we can get him for, he was definitely worth the punt. Then we went big. We went and signed a striker to compete with Callum Wilson on a different level to what Morelos was doing last year. And for that, we've gone for Dussan Vladvic. Now, he is a Fiorentina player, 22-year-old Serbian with great finishing and some great physical attributes. He's strong and quick, which is the bonus. He's 6'3" as well. I haven't actually seen him in game yet, so I'm very excited to use him and start him up front for this match. Mentally, really good too. He should be phenomenal, basically. Yeah, he should be very good. He had a great season for Fiorentina last year. Now he's playing with better players. He could be the main man for us as we go forward this season, and he's arguably going to be the most important transfer that you're going to see out of all of them, just because I think getting that top quality 30 goal a season striker, Wilson didn't do a bad job of it, but I think Vladvic for years to come could be one of the best strikers in the league. Then we have gone for a new inside forward to compete with St. Maximin. Fraser wasn't really doing the job for me, so we've brought in another Frenchman to compete with him, and it's Marcus Taran. He's very good. He had a great season out for Mönchengladbach, really. 15 goals on that left-hand side from 31 appearances. Hopefully we can see something similar. Very, very good physically, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Not only that, he's very good at cutting inside, can cross, can dribble, can shoot. A decent header of a ball at the back post. I think we're going to see a lot from this man, and I think it won't take long for him to push St. Maximin potentially out of a starting 11, which he had nailed down last season even when his form wasn't great, purely because of the fact that we didn't really have anyone that compete with the level of St. Maximin. But now we do, and that's what you need in the Champions League team, I think. Two very good players in each area, and that's what we've done at right back too. We had Zeki Celik last year, never really put a foot wrong. You could argue he never really put a foot right in that way, in the fact that he didn't do anything completely amazing and special. And for that reason, we've bought a player to compete with him and probably start over him. This guy's better in the attacking phase and the defensive phase than Celik. It's 24-year-old Nordi Mukiele. Signing them for £34 million, his value is now pretty much double that. I think it's a great deal. He's not going to get many assists and goals, I can't imagine, but as a good right-back option, I think you can't do many better than this guy for the level of club that Newcastle is in this save. I think that's a good signing. Then we also made some sales too. There is more signings as well. And actually, there's plenty of room in the transfer window still for us to make more by the next episode. So who knows, a team might even look different next time you see us. But we did make some sales, of course, and that started with Miguel Almiron, leaving for £9.5 million to Fulham. 9.25, sorry, I can do maths, I just assumed it was 9.5. Hasn't really gone too well for him at the start of his career there. Didn't use him too much, I'll take £9 million for him, and that was perfectly fine. And then we move on to the most recent season, where we did sell a few more. So Jacob Murphy leaving for 3.6. Vilka, a guy who was on loan, leaving for, what was that, about £1 million? Near enough £2 million. I'm happy with that. Lascelles left for £6 million to Rennes. Jamal Lewis, and this is the one that hurt me because I actually thought he was arguably better than Grimaldo at left back last season, but we had a bit of a wage issue and I think we were over a limit for the Premier League. Selling Jamal Lewis helped with that. It helps with FFP as well. He's gone to join Villa. I'm sure he'll be fine for him, but the fact that he's only valued at pretty much what we sold him for goes to show it's probably a decent bit of business. Alfredo Morelos left the club for £10 million with Vladvic coming in the other way. I don't think Morelos was going to play much, and the biggest problem with him was the fact that he was injuring all of our players in training, I assume because of his aggression. Yeah, that's probably why. In training, it was like Alfredo Morelos killed this man, and I thought, you know what, as nice as you are to have as a backup striker, let's get rid of you and let Callum Wilson do that job. And then Matty Longstaff, a player who is again out on loan, has left to join Frankfurt for £15 million. It's a fairly inflated fee for a man who didn't do too well at Aberdeen, so, you know, I've got to take that. I know he's like Newcastle homegrown, isn't he? Maybe Newcastle fans really love him, but for £15 million, I've got to take it. Then I think I really like these signings that you're about to see. So we needed a fourth centre-back option with Jamal Lascelles leaving, and we again went for another central defender from France to back up Nyanzu and Badashile. Akanji isn't French, but the others are, I think. But yeah, 22-year-old Frenchman Boubacar Kamara, who can also be deployed in that defensive midfield role if we need him, but I doubt we will. He's going to be a backup centre-back for us, I think, and getting him on a free deal from Marseille was just that little bit sweeter, just because he was free. He's maybe not the physical centre-back that I'd like to use, but he'll be an option out there. He probably won't play too much, but it's fine. You can't really complain with a guy like that for free. Then, with Jamal Lewis leaving, I realised I needed another left-back. I saw Gareth Bale was available for a free. He actually doesn't have left-back as an option in terms of his roles, but I've started training him there like he did in real life back in the day. I think he could be very good for us. I'm interested to see. I mean, I just wanted Gareth Bale. I saw he was there and I thought, why not have Gareth Bale as a backup left back for our team? Impact sub. Why not? You can also deploy him on the wing if someone got injured. He's not even asking for that much money. I'll take that and I'll bring Gareth Bale to Newcastle United, which a lot of rumours in real life have suggested could happen. And then finally, with Southampton getting relegated, I was looking at both Tino Livramento, who was still going to cost a little bit too much, and James Ward-Prowse. He was available for a cut price fee of £34 million, which might seem a lot for a 27-year-old, but he's an English player in his prime. He's going to fit straight into our midfield in that box-to-box area. Great set-piece delivery, which is pretty important considering the fact that our centre-backs have been dominant from corners and that kind of thing. Good physically as well, good mentally, has even gone on to be club captain straight away. Apparently he winds up opponents. I've never seen that in real life, but yeah, I think this is going to pay off big time, James Ward-Prowse. I've heard people say that they signed him for PSG and he was PSG's best player. I don't know if we'll get that out of him, but he is at the club. We've done really well, I think, in terms of the transfer window. And actually, this season, not classing all the money that we spent last season, this season, since the new year has ticked over, we've actually worked at a profit. So I'm not just spending money like crazy. Let's not look at this. So let's forget about that. But this season, it's fine. This season, perfectly fine. I just want to quickly hop over to the dev centre because Richard Crockard, someone pointed out that as funny as his last name is and as hard to say as it is, just in case I get it wrong, apparently Richard can be shortened down to Dick. So Dick Crockard, I need to be very, 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 very careful saying his name in the future. When we get to the second youth intake, if any of you guys want to put your name on a youth intake player, you can learn a bit more about that by clicking the join button, but that's as much as I'll talk about that for this video and probably until we get the youth intake. But yeah, with that being said, what more should we look at before the game? I suppose just in terms of the facilities and stuff, it's developed a lot since we've been here. Superb youth facilities, excellent academy and youth recruitment, great training facilities. Still need a bit of work there, but it's a lot better than what we came into. They've been developing the stadium for a while as well now. I don't know if I am on the club's favoured personnel list anywhere. Probably not, despite the fact that I'm arguably the greatest ever No, I'm not. Don't worry, Newcastle fans. I know you're raging about that. I'm not the greatest ever Newcastle manager. But maybe by the end of this save, if we win a Champions League, who knows, maybe then we might be classed as that, but I suppose other Newcastle managers might not have had this much money to spend. I think pretty much on top of that, everything's fine. The board's really liking us. Tactically, we're doing nothing special this year. It's literally the same tactic. Anyone who last season was like, oh, how's your tactic doing so well? What is the tactic? This is it. There's nothing special about it. No individual instructions. It's just the roles and what you see. And it's a standard 4-3-3 gegenpressing preset in terms of what we're doing without the ball and in transition. With that being said, here is the team that we're going with today. Plenty of new players to test out against West Ham. We are going for Livakovic in goal, with new signing Mukiele at right back. Nyanzu and Badashile keep the place at the back, with Akanji still injured and Kamara not really favoured over the other two. Grimaldo is still our left back. Gareth Bale won't be starting. Julian Weigl is at the base of the midfield with Ward-Prowse and Basuma putting them other two positions. Ward-Prowse and Willock, I imagine, will battle it out here. Loftus-Cheek is an option all around the pitch. And Billy Gilmore can also do the similar job. Then we've got Rafinha, Marcus Thuram and Vlahovic. It's a pretty new look forward line there with only Rafinha keeping his place. But the tried and tested players are on the bench. Maximan, Wilson, Willock, Shelvey. Oh, we've got something to talk about. It's hard news to break to you guys. I said that when we win the Champions League, John Joe Shelvey will play a part in the match. Now, one problem is that this series will end when we win the Champions League. But if we don't win it this season, John Joe Shelvey is unfortunately out of my hands, not going to be part of it. I refused to sell him because I wanted to keep him around, despite the fact that realistically, on 70 grand a week, you would get rid of this player, but I kept him around for the sake of the series and the sake of the channel. But he's came to me and he's like, you know what, I want to leave when my contract ends, and I had no say in it. So he's leaving on a free transfer at the end of his contract, which is when this season finishes, when this season expires. So this is John Joe Shelvey's last season at the club. It breaks my heart to say it. So if we don't win the Champions League, I can't keep my promise. So I think we've got to go all out and try and win it this year just to have that happen. His last game being a Champions League final. Maybe scores the winner against Real Madrid or something. I'm going to manifest it into reality so we can see it happen. But yeah, outside of that, Marcus Edwards is on the bench. He has some interest in him. He's one of the ones that could potentially leave by the end of the window. But I quite like him as a backup option on either side. So with that being said, let's get straight into the match. Hopefully you enjoy it. Thank you guys for watching. And hopefully we can come out of this with 3 points and we can kickstart our season with all of our new players playing amazing. Okay, we're off here in the game. And one thing that I want to point out is, I don't know if you guys saw it, but Gareth Bale's morale is already down and he joined like 2 days ago. So is he just going to be a problem player at the club? I hope not. I hope that his dynamics don't bring the whole club down, because he is kind of a half jokey sign-in. So hopefully he's fine with it. I also removed the thing from his contract where he wanted to play a certain position, so he can't complain now if I play him left back, I hope. But I think as a wing back he'll be a great option. But so far, 50 seconds into the game, we've been brilliant. Dussan Vladvic scoring after 1.3 minutes, 1.5 minutes should I say, at his new club. It's Rafinha with a great ball into him, but it was great play around the back just to knock it about. We carved through West Ham like butter. This is exactly what we want to see this season. Rafinha with a great ball in. Vlahovic took his time, took a great touch, and he never looked like he was going to miss. And that's what I want to see from him this season. Start off the game with a hat-trick maybe. Put some pressure on Manchester City, who looked like they won like 5-0 or something. Come on. 8 minutes in, can we have a second goal? Nyanzu. Oof. everything's almost working perfectly. James Ward-Prowse with the corner delivery there. But yeah, that was just a great start to the match from Vladvic. I'm interested to see how he gets on this season. I've heard great things about him, and even though he's 22 years old, he's not necessarily a wonder kid anymore. He's definitely a wonder kid in real life in terms of what people think he can achieve and where he's at right now. So hopefully he can do something big for us in this Newcastle save. But West Ham are easing into the game a little bit, and they're going down the left wing with, I'm not going to try and say that guy's name. Hopefully we can defend it well though. Mukiele, I don't know where he is. They've put another ball in. Badiashile off the line there. Souček, okay, we're good. I thought the Badiashile off the line thing was going to end a highlight, and thankfully it did. It was 6-1 to Manchester City, there you go. Erling Haaland scored 3. Manchester City have bought Erling Haaland. That's interesting, that's a bit worrying. And this is working perfectly. Not only has Vlahovic scored the first goal, and I'm definitely probably butchering his name, so let me know if it is wrong and I can correct it, but Ward-Prowse with the corner delivery, new captain, new signing, whips it in to Marcus Thuram, who I said would be a threat in the air. He's gone and done exactly that, powered it in to the back of the net. We are a physical nuisance to any team that we play. And I'm about to say this and we concede from a corner, aren't we? Yeah, Souček just scored. I should never say anything in these videos, because if it's anything like the last game of last season, every time I say something, it goes wrong. I said we were a physical threat in the air. 2 seconds later, West Ham corner, in it comes. Souček rises above anyone and puts it into the back of the net. Although, just because it's Thomas Souček, I'll let it off because I don't know who could compete with that man in the air. As long as we score a third one now, I'll be happy, because I don't want anything happening where somehow West Ham come back into this match despite our dominance. Which, speaking of, I went to see Chelsea play Burnley the other day. If you don't know, Chelsea dominating the Premier League, doing very, very well. So I thought, you know what, I've supported Chelsea for ages. I don't live in London, so it's not often I get to go down to the ground. So I went down and watched the match and was really excited to see another 7-0 bashing like we did to Norwich. Dominated the game, chance after chance, went 1-0 up. Still didn't look too good after that in terms of scoring, but we still looked pretty dominant. And out of nowhere, Sean Dyche tactics Burnley, one long ball over the top, header down to another player who taps it in, and it completely ruined my day. But hopefully that doesn't happen in this game, because we are playing superbly outside of that one set piece chance, because that's the only thing that's given West Ham any XG at all. And I think it's just forced David Moyes, I assume he's still manager, into making a triple substitution. Ward-Prowse to Mukiele, I said wouldn't get many assists, but he's played a good ball into Thuram, who headed it down again at the back post. I think he's going to be lethal. Headed it down to Vlahovic, who didn't take the chance too well. And now West Ham do have a free kick with 50 minutes on the clock. And I don't like anything that starts with them on the ball, because I don't think in the way that we play that we just like win the ball back and break. That doesn't happen often, despite being a gegenpressing system. Most of our chances do come from a bit of possession and then a nice long ball. So when West Ham do have a ball, I am worried that it is going to be a West Ham highlight, and 2-2 would be a travesty based on how this game has gone so far. We should be all over them, but a long ball from the goalkeeper is exactly what we want, because it means we can build out from the back where we're so good. Mukiele plays it to Rafinha, these players slowly bonding and learning how to play with each other. Rafinha, poor pass back, but then does win it back, crosses it in, Thuram back post header. That's going to be something we say a lot this season by the looks of it, has just headed it over the bar, but I'm perfectly happy with that. That's exactly the kind of movements we should be making and the kind of goals I expect us to score. Ward-Prowse, another ball in, Mukiele just over the bar. Ward-Prowse's deliveries look lethal in this game, but Bissouma doesn't look like he's having the best of times in that box-to-box role, so I'm going to bring on Billy Gilmore for his debut. And seeing as Grimaldo's not really setting the world alight, we're also going to bring on Gareth Bale. I don't know why it's just done that. I just want to bring Bale on. I don't need to see that. There we go. There is a chance though. No, it's gone back to West Ham. Now this is worrying, because if they break on us, we will be struggling at 2-2. But it's fine. I'll hold out hope that we will win the ball back at some point. It's 4 hours on the ball for them. Maybe Weigl comes off in a minute, because he's only on a 6.4 and I haven't seen him on the ball at all this game, but I'll give him a few more minutes before we make the third substitution. Here is Weigl though to Bissouma, who is coming off in a few seconds. Ward-Prowse to Rafinha, good pass through from him. Rafinha again cutting inside, finds Vlahovic, who had no right winning the ball there. Weigl with a brilliant picked out pass to Rafinha, who hits into the back of the net. It's not counted, but maybe VAR will turn it over into our favour, but that's what I want to see Weigl doing when the ball comes back out to him, just pinging a long ball over the top like that. I think it has counted, and it's a great assist for Weigl if it's gone down as an actual goal. One touch, curling pass to Rafinha, who finished brilliantly in all honesty. He's been a great signing for us, but Weigl is doing exactly what I wanted from him there. And now hopefully we can see like a Gareth Bale goal or something. Ward-Prowse into the box. I thought he was going to score as soon as I said it. That would have been nice, but easily claimed by the West Ham goalkeeper. I think we're going to do very well this season. Here he is, Gareth Bale. One long ball forward to Taran. Okay, it's not been the best ball, but I think he could be very, very good in that left-back spot. Maybe I'm a genius, developing him from being a winger back into that left-back spot that he used to play in. Weigl with another great pass over. Taran fouled by Zuma. It's going to be a penalty. Weigl has decided in the final 20 minutes here that he's going to carve him apart, and he's done exactly that. And it's been a great start to the game for us. I think Vladvic is penalty taker with like 18, 17 penalties, something like that. So hopefully he can get his second goal, and then we'll keep him on and maybe get a hat-trick. I think this has been a great start to the season, even if this doesn't go in. So let me know what you think of my transfers, because I think we've done a very good job here, and I'm interested to you guys to tell me where you think we could come by the end of the season. I reckon win the league, quarterfinals of the Champions League. That's what I'm going to... It's a bold prediction, but that's what I think is going to happen. Vladvic, by the way, did of course power that penalty into the back of the net. We're 4-1 up. It's been a great start. Manchester City winning 6-1 at Fulham. We're winning 4-1 at West Ham. I say 4-1. I was going to say make that 5, and it was going to seem really cool, but Badashile did miss. But James Ward-Prowse, yet again, dictating the game from that set pieces. It was arguably the main reason I brought him in, just to be that guy who dominates in terms of set pieces, and it's working brilliantly for us so far. NEWCASTLE gives the ball away. He's on a 7.7, so he's apparently had a good game, which I haven't really seen in Engine, but as long as the game thinks he's playing fine, then that is fine by me. Here is Kufalvo going at Bale, his first defensive test really. I didn't even look at his defensive attributes. That's probably something I should have done. But Gilmore is on the ball now, and he has got great passing range. It just didn't really work out from there as we try and find Vladvic his third goal of the match. Here is Bowen though. Jared Bowen, pretty quick on that right hand side. And it's a great block again by Badashile, who stops a goal that would have been an easy tap in and gets it over the bar. So great defending from him. Another game where he's just proven to me that he should start at the back with Nyanzu, and them two should just develop into a top tier partnership for years to come. One more sub to make. I think we'll just bring on Saint Maximin just to get him back on the pitch, because I don't want him to feel like he's being left out. He's still going to be a key player this season, just maybe not as key as last year. Here is Ward-Prowse, so quickly turning, firing it over to Gilmore, who plays one long ball over. Thought Vladvic might get there, but he's not that quick in the end. Still got room to develop and get better though, Vladvic, so I'm interested to see what he can do. Here is Bale. Bale on the left wing. Put the cross in, Gareth. Make it look like it was an amazing sign-in bringing you in as backup left back. He's forced an own goal from Declan Rice. Gareth Bale, what a legend. On that left-hand side, he is going to kill it. Basically having that game that he had against Inter Milan years ago for Spurs against Maicon. He's just done that to Kufal here. Gone past, blasts it in. It's an awful cross really, but he puts it into a danger area. That's all you can ask for. Rice puts it in the back of the net. We're 5-1 up. Let's make it 6. Let's equal Manchester City with their Haaland, Grealish, Sterling and Diaz team. If we can equal that, I think we can say we've done very well this summer. But 5-1, that's what it's ended. We'll definitely take that. An absolutely dominant showing to put fear into every other team in the league. And we haven't even got started yet. These players haven't even gelled together. We've got plenty of easy matches coming up, and I think we're going to absolutely take off in the league this year. And with that being said, I don't think there's much more to talk about. It's been a fairly long one, I would imagine. It feels like it since I started recording, to be honest. And we'll probably bring it back in September for Chelsea or Manchester City. Maybe even a double header. I'll see how I feel. But overall, the squad's been built into a very, very nice level. If we look at the kind of players that we've got, if we go to squad report, where's that now? All players? Transfer value, here we go. We've got plenty of players valued in over 50 million ranges. Like everyone here and upwards is valued at £50 million or higher, and the ones below that are still 30-40 million players. So I think we've done very well in rejuvenating this squad, and we've still got John Joe Shelby. So everything's going to plan for now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like, and hopefully I'll see you next time, guys. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.